Hey everyone, today we are playing Naya Humans. We've played a deck like this before, however this version of the deck looks like mono white but actually splashes red and green to play some super powerful creatures. It's got everything you love about mono white humans. It's got Guardian of New Benalia, it's got Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, and it's got sweet Adeline, bam bam bam. Good times never felt so good. What makes this deck Naya? Well, we run 4 copies of Halana and Alena. Yeah, I just love this card so much, I can't stop playing it. So what improvements come from Phyrexia will be 1. We still love Skrelv. He's a good boy. He helps us protect our threats from spot removal. Just so good. And we also run 2 copies of Melira, the Living Cure. This is really good against all the toxic decks that are appearing in the meta, down with poison counters. And finally, 4 Razorverge Thicket, which are now in the format with all the other allied colour fast lands. This really helps aggro decks with their mana and get off to a faster start. And that's the deck. Will the humans be able to push back the Phyrexian threat, or will the meta just be too toxic for our liking? Let's get into the games. Alright, kicking off today's video, going on the draw. Not the fastest hand in the world. Also, only 1 green source with Secluded Courtyard, but 1 green source is all we need, so we're going to keep this. We're hoping our opponent doesn't have spot removal for our stuff. If they do, this could go very bad very quickly. Looks like we can play Skrelv, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to give up the Eiganjo to play this because I don't really want to pay 1 life when I don't know what my opponent's playing. Looks like it is Grixis, however. That Guardian's super nice. However, I want to play this Thalia instead. So I'm going to play the Secluded Courtyard, named Human. I'm going to play out the Thalia now. And then... no, not yet. And then I'm just going to attack for 1. I think it's better to deal the 1 damage here rather than keep Skrelv up for the removal. Because... yeah, there we go, Blood Tithe Harvester. And I think the reason why that's better is because if my opponent can't play Brotherhood's End, and if they want to play Go for the Throat on something, that's okay. Looks like I'm going to play this... I think I'm just going to play this Plains and play out the Adeline now. We'll go to combat. We'll swing in with the Thalia. Ah, I forgot about the crew. That's unfortunate. But it's going to be okay. We'll end the turn. If my opponent wants to use Blood Tithe Harvester to get rid of Skrelv, that's perfectly fine. We're going to pay 2 life here. Give this protection from black. Well, protection. Using old magic terminology there. We've all done it, opponent. It's all good. I'm going to play the Sundown Pass here. Play out both the Guardian and Melira. Go to combat. Let's not attack with the... yeah, no, let's attack with the 1-1. Push in some extra damage. If my opponent wants to block with this, that's fine. We can use Melira to help Adeline survive. So the Reckoner Bankbuster and the Adeline are going to trade. And Adeline comes back. Hooray! So opponent has 3 cards in hand at this point. Ah, you thought I'd forgotten about the Reckoner Bankbuster, hadn't you? You thought I'd forgotten about the Reckoner Bankbuster when I swung with Adeline. I did forget for Thalia, but not for Adeline. Hopefully people don't click off the video after that punt, but it's all good. So now my opponent's really thinking, right? Skrelv can protect anything once, So if my opponent has 2 removal spells, then it's all good for my opponent, but then they're wasting 2 removal spells to get rid of 1 threat, right? And I still have quite the... I still have quite the removal, quite the board presence, sorry. In my opinion, they shouldn't be roping right now. They should be using Blood Tithe Harvester to get rid of the Skrelv, because Skrelv can't protect itself. It specifically says another target creature. What do we think? Do we think my opponent has disconnected, or are they doing the typical Hearthstone rope because they're a bit salty? Place your bets. Salty scoop do 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 do, salty scoop do 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 do, salty scoop do 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 do, salty scoop. Whatever. On to the next game. All right, game 2. Strong start. We'll keep this. Given the nature of format right now, I think the correct turn 1 play is Plaza of Heroes Skrelv past the turn, and then turn 2 Hopeful Initiate. And then we can make our way, because we don't really have a good turn 2 play right now. So I'm going to play Plaza of Heroes, play the Skrelv, try and protect our things, see what we can do. There's Melira. Okay, this could be the mirror, you know. This absolutely could be the mirror. We'll play the Secluded Courtyard. Naming human, of course. We won't attack here. We'll end the turn. Valorous Stance just gives something indestructible. It doesn't stop the Brutal Cathar from coming down. Now, Melira specifically says if a creature will be put into a graveyard. We'll block the token with the Hopeful Initiate. Take 3. Now, unfortunately, this is the kind of game where whoever plays the first Brutal Cathar often loses. And I imagine if this is the mirror, although my opponent is playing Karplusan Forest, so I think my opponent might be playing a more red-based deck. Might not be surprised to see Hajar and things like that. We'll pass the turn to me. There's another Appointed Peacekeeper. I could just play the Brutal Cathar on the Melira, and then next turn use the Valorous Stance to get rid of the Adeline. All good choices to make. I think Brutal Cathar getting rid of Melira would be correct, because I have other ways of dealing with Adeline in my hand. Ooh, I'm very popular. I've got a text. Sure. Oh, they're just trying to protect the Adeline. Okay, no attacks. No attacks? No attacks. We'll end the turn. There's a backup Melira. Sure. We're going to blocks again. Alright. Pass the turn to me. There's Thalia. Could go for the second Brutal Cathar. Get rid of Melira again. See if they want to exile that one as well. Let's see if we can play the flippy game. I mean, I might just play Anointed Peacekeeper and see what they've got, and make something a bit more expensive as well. I'm not really feeling particularly threatened right now. Yeah, let's play the Anointed Peacekeeper. We'll name Squee. Did not expect to see Squee. That's a very interesting card choice. We'll choose not to attack here. There's Squee. Okay. That's fine. We're going to blockers. They could exile their own Adeline, so I'm just going to block here. Do I just take 4? I'll go down to 10. Yeah, I think that's okay. I'm not feeling threatened at the moment. Remember, they have a backup Adeline. Still cannot find 4th land, which is really unfortunate. Could just Brutal Cathar the Adeline. Gets around Melira. Could also just pass the turn to make my Brutal Cathar a 3/3. Yeah, I've got Valorous Stance, so I'm going to keep that in my hand. We'll end the turn. There's Jetmir. Will Valorous Stance the Jetmir? Absolutely. They'll have to exile the Melira, but this actually works out really well for us. You serious? That's super unfortunate. Go to blockers. This might just be game, you know. Taking 3, 4, 5, 13, yeah. That's just unfortunate. It is what it is. Really would have been nice to see a 4th land, but deck insisted that today was not the day. Alright, going first. Nice low curve. Sarcasm. We'll keep it. Hopefully we'll hit the 3rd land. We'll start with the Secluded Courtyard, naming human, play the Hopeful Initiate. Turn 2, Thalia. Turn 3, Adeline is usually the way to go. Hopefully we don't have back-to-back games where we're mana screwed. That would just be rude. Funny. Two chances to draw a land with a... We're playing 24 land, by the way. With a 42% chance followed by a 43% chance. And we didn't hit on either. We really, really need our opponent to also be mana screwed. It's not happening. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. We need this Guardian to stick, and we need to scry. So bad. So bad. Oh, it's okay. It's magic. Fable, sure. Now the question becomes, what am I going to do if I draw a land? I do, and it's a Razorverge. I could Brutal Cathar. I could Adeline. I have a fair few options. I could also Anointed Peacekeeper, see what they've got, and say no. Turn 4, I could then play Halana. You know what? I think the correct play is Anointed Peacekeeper, see what they've got, attack, scry 2. Yeah, I think that's the play. Zeotora's Cankerbloom. Yeah, we'll go with Fable. Grixis combat. We'll enlist with Guardian. Scry 2. Look for that land. Good job we did. We'll discard a card. No problem. Cool, we'll end the turn. Next turn we could play Brutal Cathar if we absolutely have to. But it's looking good. It's looking good. I can hear a dog outside my door. Opponent discards 2 lands. They could have Brotherhood's End. It's incredibly unlikely considering they've got Cankerbloom. Any deck that plays Armored Scrapgorger, Cankerbloom, and Fable, or that also plays Brotherhood's End, you may activate abilities of creatures you control so those creatures have haste. Ooh. I haven't played against Tyvar yet, so this will be interesting. We're in this together. Bring back Blood Tide Harvester? Yeah, makes sense. And that doesn't get around the indestructibility, so I'm going to let that go. There's Plaza. I'm probably going to play Halana and Alena here. Give the +1/+1 counters to the Thalia, and then attack Tyvar with both. And then next turn I can use the Brutal Cathar to get rid of the Reflection of Kiki-Jiki. Untap up to 1. Yeah, okay. Don't really want them doing that with Armored Scrapgorger. Do I care? No, I don't think I do. It's only got 1 loyalty. No, I think I do. Hang on. Because of its passive ability. I don't really want them to be able to start using Reflection of Kiki-Jiki straight away. That would be very bad. Can you tell I've never played against Tyvar before? Alright, cool. I think we're okay. That is some very famous last words, but I think we're okay. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. Yeah, okay. Double Edict would be kind of brutal, but not entirely unexpected. Alright, let's play this Brutal Cathar now. So even if we go after the reflection and they cut it down, that's okay. That still happens. What a weird timing for my opponent. Alright, let's play out the Adeline. I don't want to attack with Brutal Cathar because then they'll just double block, so I'm just going to attack with Thalia. What can they do? They kept a card. Another Shieldred's Edict. Adeline can go. Yeah, I wouldn't attack their opponent. Cool. I think we can just do this. Opponent will probably double block here with the Cankerbloom and Armored Scrapgorger, but that's not good for them. I don't have any... They triple block. Okay. I don't have any artifact enchantments, so I'm just going to let the Cankerbloom survive. I think Armored Scrapgorger is the kill here. I could have killed the Cankerbloom and the token, but they can't play the Reflection of Kiki-Jiki this turn unless they top deck Tyvar. Yeah, I think on that block, there is an argument that just thinking back, there is an argument that I kill both the Cankerbloom and the token and keep that alive, the Armored Scrapgorger. I think, given that the Armored Scrapgorger has 3 toughness and everything else has 2 toughness, I still think that's the right call. But there's definitely an argument that you want... If my opponent had more cards in hand, I think I would take... I think I would take out the Cankerbloom and the treasure token. And the Goblin, because the Goblin can make treasure tokens, but my opponent's top decking, so why would I care about treasure tokens? Yeah, let me know what you think, but I think the block was fine. Opponent's going first. This is not the best hand in the world. There is an argument that you throw this back. I'm going to keep for content. Hopefully I'm not going to throw for content. We'll find out. Alright, Battlefield Forge, play out the Skrelv. See what happens. Yes. Did we play this guy? Feels like we've already played this guy, but whatever. Throw out the Secluded Courtyard, naming human. No tax. End turn. There's Anointed Peacekeeper. Opponent should totally name Halana. Not what I would have chosen. My turn. So there's Guardian. Do I just go Secluded Courtyard again? Name human? I think so. can I, if I do that, can I cast Sigarda off the top? No, but I only run one Sigarda, so the chances of that mattering are incredibly slim. Alright, no attacks. End turn. Yeah, opponent has drawn the absolute nuts. No argument from me on this one. Brutal Cathar, if I was to target anything other than Skrelv, Skrelv just protects it. Yeah, well played. Can't argue, that's what the deck can do. And my opponent was drawing a lot faster than I was. The reality of playing this deck. Opponent going first. This is a nice hand. Curves very nicely. We will keep it. Opponent has mulliganed. So yeah, we're definitely going to keep this now. Turn 1 Plaza of Heroes with Skrelv into turn 2 Guardian, into turn 3 Brutal Cathar, into turn 4 Halana and Alena, assuming we draw a land. That's the initial play. Of course, that can all change. It's now unlikely to change. We will open with... Yeah, we'll start with the plains. No reason to show my opponent we're on anything different. Ossification. Great card. I think we might be up against mono white control. Drawing 2 lands, not ideal. Not ideal at all. There we go, there's Melira. We'll play the Otterfield Forge. I thought we were up against mono white. However, that means Orzhov. Let's get the Halana and Alena to stick. Go to combat. Give it to the Guardian. Oh, I should have enlisted. I should have enlisted and scryed too. That was silly of me. Got a bit too excited there. Opponent is struggling for land. Boy, do I know that feeling. If Edict comes, we will probably... There's another ossification. Okay, what are they targeting? Probably the Melira. They go for Guardian. Okay. Have I drawn nothing but land this entire time? It feels like it. I may have drawn one creature. I'm going to name Angel here. I could play Brutal Cathar, and that's what I'm going to do. We'll give this +2/+2. Put my opponent down 2/2. And end the turn. What do they have? They have 4 land, so... And then we can exile Melira if something dies. There we go. Well, we finally drew. Despite drawing every single card we didn't need. I'll have to watch that back on tape, but I genuinely think I drew all the land and 1 Valorous Stance. But because our opponent also wasn't doing a lot, it turned out well in the end. I might have drawn 1 creature, but it wasn't good. It wasn't good. Going first, the first 5 cards are amazing. The Halana and Alena straight afterwards, not so good. But we will keep. Turn 1 Hopeful Initiate into turn 2 Thalia is the plan. We'll see how it goes. I could really do with drawing a Secluded Courtyard or a... I need another multicolor land, but that's a start. I'll keep the Eiganjo to myself for the time being. I don't want them to know that I have it. Name Human. We'll play the Thalia. And so the chippage begins. Perfect. That is a really good draw. We'll get the training off. And then we'll play the Guardian. And then... What are they doing? Catholic player. Oh, it's Reanimator. It's Reanimator. Okay. Well, the draws came off really nicely here. And now, on top of that, we have 2+1/+1 counters on Hopeful Initiate. So we can destroy any artifacts or enchantments. Yeah, the Thalia really messed them up. The turn 2 Thalia on the play really messed them up. I like Boros Reanimator or Naya Reanimator, so I might do a deck on that in the future. But yeah, we've had one game where the Naya Humans Snowball goes against us, and one game where the Naya Humans Snowball goes for us. So it evens out. Opponent going first, we have a interesting decision to make on turn 2. Depends entirely on what they play. Let's give nothing away. Let's play the Hopeful Initiate and pass. Might be Selesnya Toxic. Could be Selesnya Enchantments. Could be. It's Selesnya Toxic. Okay. Well, guess what I'm playing turn 2? There's another land. Full name Human. Melira comes down. Attack for 1. Skrelv can't block. Next turn I can play the Thalia. This is such a good card to shut down Toxic. There's Anointed Peacekeeper. I think that's actually what I want to play here. No, I'm going to name Human for this one. Let's play the Anointed Peacekeeper, see what we can get rid of. Yeah. I know we're only playing 2 copies of Melira, but I think the fact that my immediate thought is we should really be playing more copies of Melira. That's my immediate thought right now, is that why am I only playing 2? Like, I know her ability, her first ability only applies to Toxic, but the second ability, there's so much spot removal in the format, there's so much destruction in the format. That's just such a good ability. Yeah. Definitely going to need to do some thinking here in terms of the deck review. But yeah, let's get into the next game. Okay, on the play, 2 Skrelv isn't ideal, but we have Skrelv into Melira into hopefully something. In this recording, our draws haven't been that hot, but the opening hands have been really good. So we've got that going for us, which is nice. I could play Plains, but I'd rather play the Razorverge Thicket, because if I draw a second Razorverge Thicket, I want to be able to play it. We'll go with the Plains here. And the Melira. Now, because this is Ziatora, I could try and get in the 1 damage, but I'm actually going to keep Skrelv up and see if we can protect Melira. And if they want to destroy Skrelv, that's fine. Alright. Let the beatdown begin. Reminder, of course, that Skrelv can't protect from Reckoner Bankbuster. Bushwhack. Oh, opponent. Bushwhack. You usually want to use that for the second ability, not the first. Oh, there's Thalia. But I think Halana is just the right play here. Yep. Oh, we're in a groove now. We are grooving. So we ended up going 7-3 with this deck, and I was impressed. However, it's not the fastest of the aggro decks in the world, which is strange to say because there's so many turn 2 and turn 3 plays you can make. But the only turn 1 play that's aggressive is turn 1 Hopeful Initiate, and even then it's a 1-2. Yes, the training does mean that it can become a 2-1, a 2-3, sorry, and you can start really ramping it up. And when you can snowball, it's really good. Really, really good if you've got a fast start. If you haven't got a fast start, it's a bit different, but I do think it's the best in that slot. Skrelv is also really good. Just having the ability to pay 2 white Phyrexia mana, so white mana or 2 life, to protect something once is just big value. It really is. I personally think it should cost more, maybe 1 and a white Phyrexia mana, but I don't know. I think then it becomes unplayable. So there's a fine line. In terms of everything else, I think Valorous Stance we didn't really get to see in action. I don't think it's really that good right now. I think there's a lot of faster decks, such as Toxic and Aggro and Humans, and I just think maybe Valorous Stance would be better off being a Melira, more copies of Melira. The one time I did have an opportunity to play Valorous Stance, it got countered. The 3 drops is about right. I think Anointed Peacekeeper is a massively underrated card, and I'm glad to see it get more love. Brutal Cathar is just premium removal in this deck, and Adeline is still so sweet, especially comboed with Halana and Alena partners. Finally, we didn't get to see Sigarda, Champion of Light, but I still think 1 copy is correct. Looking at the mana base, everything's good. There's 2 copies of Eiganjo, as opposed to the normal 1, and it never bit me, so I think keeping 2 copies in here is correct. There are 24 lands, and it's hard to tell as to whether that's the correct amount. I personally think it is. If you go to the average mana value, it's 2.4. So I think that I think that 24 is correct. I just might have been slightly unlucky. If you continue to be unlucky, 10 matches isn't really a great sample size. Maybe go up to 25, cut 2 Valorous Stance, add 1 Melira, add a 25th land. That is something you can consider. That would be my choice if you needed to make that change. In terms of alternate cards, Recruitment Officer could go in the 1-drop slot as opposed to Hopeful Initiate. However, you're often wanting to spend the 4 mana doing something else, and I think Recruitment Officer is better in the Soldiers deck. Intrepid Adversary is a human. It's a 3-1 lifelink, but you can basically give it an Anthem effect. A really good card if you're playing tokens, but we're not actually creating that many tokens with this deck. The only token generator is Adeline, so I don't think that's good here. Hajar, Loyal Bodyguard, I think this and Catilda Dawnheart Prime sort of go together. I think there is a version of Naya where you can play Hajar, Catilda, and Melira as sort of the trifecta of human awesomeness and pump out a lot of mana, do lots of fun things. I think there is definitely a deck revolving around that. We just haven't found it yet. King Darian gives other creatures +1/+1, nice Anthem effect, along with Intrepid Adversary. But we're not playing that many tokens. If this was a Jetmir deck, I think that we'd be having a different conversation, but it's not, so I don't think it really belongs here. Torrens, Fist of the Angel, I've seen some people play this in their human decks. Again, this is more of a token strategy. Defiler of Faith is expensive. It's very expensive, however, there are a lot of white permanent spells in this deck, so if you wanted to play Defiler of Faith, maybe that is something you could consider to go maybe wider and make your opponents miserable. But I think it's too expensive. You could also play Owl. I think that's a better option than Defiler, but I don't think either of those really go in this deck. That's it from me. Thank you very much for watching. If you are interested in content like this, why don't you leave a like on the video and subscribe for more as well. Next time, we will be playing something a bit different. I've been wanting to play with Venerated Rock Priest for a while, and I think I found the deck to do it with. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and don't do anything I wouldn't do. Bye-bye!